Hi, I'm Tom Edwards, and I'm incredibly excited to bring you something a little bit different today. So normally I'm a futurist speaker. I talk about technology, I talk about consumer behavior, but I had a really unique opportunity to craft a new narrative for a younger audience. So basically I had the opportunity to do a presentation to the LCA Business and Engineering schools. And it's the first time I've been back on stage this year because of COVID and everything happening. So we had social distancing in place for the audience, but you can also see I wore a mask on stage. And the message here, I've got three kids. I've got Gavin, who's 18, Audrey, who's 15, about to be 16, and Grant, who's 12. When they talk about their career or what they want to do with their lives, some of the direction that I give to them, it's really about aligning your passion with whatever career choice you're going to take moving forward, you're going to adopt moving forward. And for me, I had three territories that have impacted the last 20 years of my life. That's gaming. So since my first memories are of a controller in hand and just having a lot of fun with 8-bit gaming from the original Nintendo. And so I've tried to instill that, especially in both of my boys, with Gavin and Grant. They've taken a massive interest in gaming. Marketing. So for me, I've always been fascinated about consumer behavior, the psychology behind why people buy. Why do they make the decisions that they do? And how can I best connect products with individuals? Just since a very, very, very early age, I've had just this fascination with marketing. And the third is technology. Technology has probably been the biggest driver of success over the course of the last 20 years. So being able to having a foundation of understanding for how core technology actually works, being able to then create and bridge use cases into different kind of business applications, and then laying marketing and consumer behavior and research and data and strategy on top of that, it's really been a secret sauce in terms of success. So before I talk about kind of today and the future and recommendations for individuals looking to kind of embark on their career, I like to start in the past. One of my very first memories was of the original Star Wars. And all my friends, they wanted to be Luke Skywalker or Han Solo. But for me, I really liked the droids. I liked C-3PO and I liked R2-D2 and how they enabled the experiences of the other characters every step of the way. But growing up in the 80s, and yes, this is the original Nintendo Entertainment System commercial. There's Robbie the Robot. This was super HD for the 80s. But gaming, technology, how it enabled our lives wasn't quite where, to the level of Star Wars yet. So getting into the 90s, I saw hope. And we see the rise of connectivity. And I really got into the hardware side in the 90s. Really funny story. My dad had brought a brand new Gateway computer, brought it home, so proud of it, took it out of the box, set it on his desk. Had no idea what to do with it, but it was there. And instead of, immediately jumping into the software side, I proceeded to actually deconstruct the entire box, every screw, every wire. So by the time he came back home, I had laid it all out and every single component was there on the ground. He was furious. But luckily, I was able to put it all back together just fine, and everything worked perfectly. But that little bit of tinkering really sparked something within me on the hardware side, and I began to really focus in on that. So that ultimately led to a job during the dot-coms. So I joined an interactive agency called Full Moon Interactive. It was a roll-up of 5 different agencies in California. Texas had the technology hub, so I was obviously associated with that. And it's where I really got my first experience with aligning marketing with technology. Fast forward a little bit, me and 3 associates decide, let's start our own organization and company after the bubble burst. So we started Smooth Fusion. Smooth Fusion is still around to this day. Smooth Fusion was all about the code. It was all about the technology. We worked very closely with Microsoft on the .NET framework, along with their various agencies to create web experiences, whether we're talking profilers or whatever else it may be. So it was a really, really fun, focus on the hardcore technology side. When we moved to Dallas, my wife and I and the kids, there was an organization called TELLIGENT that recruited me away. And one of the things that I was really enamored by is it was prepackaged software. This was before Facebook, this was before everything else, but it was focused on community. That authentic connection you can have with consumers if you're with a specific brand. So we had massive growth during those years. We essentially provided the forums for Xbox, the forums for MySpace, blogs for MSNBC, blogs for a number of other entities. But gaming was always a core passion area for me. And we began to develop a gaming practice. So obviously working with Microsoft, then that extended to Electronic Arts, then to other publishers like Ensemble Studios. But the thing I'm most proud of during the days at TELLIGENT, we worked on an original IP called Skate. And there was something very special about this. We were able to actually create the first instance in partnership with the EA technology team out of San Francisco, taking in-game video snippets, applying them then to an online experience, connecting it to an authenticated user, in a really simplified way, basically sharing video clips online. It had never been done before this instance. So this is one of the proudest moments of my entire career, is being associated with this team, this project, that specific IP. So again, it was about the passion of gaming, my interest in marketing, and obviously bringing technology together all in one. So next up was Red Urban, joining the Omnicom side. And here did a little bit of everything from developing mobile applications for Hasbro, for Alfie, augmented reality executions for Volkswagen in 2011, building a virtual world for Topps and Baby Bottle Pop. And you can continue to see how this kind of common thread of gaming and technology continues to be pervasive throughout the course of the career. From developing a Hawaiian Punch online game to hosting one of the very first live streams with Nerf via Facebook. So that was a lot of fun. With the marketing arm, it was again carrying forward that idea of consumer engagement, creating bigger, larger programs, taking from television all the way through to digital, all the way through to UGC with AT&T and Be the Fan, redefining the retail experience, working closely with GameStop, experiential with the Wii, and real-time social with Snickers. So when Team in New York was actually, when the World Cup was going on and an individual bit another player, we were right on the spot with Tastes Better Than Italian. And one of the really fun things too was not only the consumer-facing applications and experiences that we created, but I was also given about $500,000 to create 2 internal platforms. So instead of being an entrepreneur, I was an entrepreneur, and essentially creating a crowdsourcing platform and an insights platform. So both of which are still in use today. Then one of the core things as I kind of evolve over the course of my career is trying to see what's next. What are the kind of territories, how marketing is going to evolve, the impact of consumer behavior, the role of technology. And that led me to joining EPSILON. So there I was the Chief Digital and Innovation Officer, and one of the core things that was really at the heart of the move was data. So really rounding out not only the gaming, the marketing, technology side, but the role of the data, the role of intelligent systems, how it's all going to come together. This was an incredibly important move to really round out that specific area, and it paid off. From a strategy and an insights perspective, it was about creating a new group that had never been there before. It's kind of this hybrid between planning and the role that the output from intelligent systems and AI actually brings you. So created a group called Data Design. And within that, it's kind of the merging of the two, of a traditional planner with the extensive processing capabilities of machine learning and AI to identify themes, perceptions, occasions. I was also able to then be an entrepreneur once again. So one of the core problems that we had is a number of the EPSILON data assets were designed essentially for direct mail. We couldn't democratize access to everyone within the agency from a strategy perspective and actually apply the data to consumer decision journeys or to other evaluating beyond just a single persona. So what we were able actually to do was create a platform called AIT. And with this, working with a very small team, once again, we did everything from defining the use cases to remapping the taxonomy of every aspect of the data, connecting it to consumer dimensions so that we could actually align it to a marketing and strategic approach. And then this helped us to actually secure a number of new business wins. It was great. And it was real. It wasn't vaporware. This was actual working software. So all of that brings me to today. So again, gaming, marketing, technology, and yes, you're looking at my actual home setup there right now. Gaming has been just a central part of my life, and it's so much fun. So you're looking at my liquid-cooled gaming PC there. It has a lot of updates, a lot of upgrades that have happened. And so now I'm with TripleClicks. TripleClicks aligns basically gaming strategy between developers, publishers, and brands. So we work with literally everybody. Chris is the founder, he's phenomenal. We work with Xbox, we work with Halo, we work with Cyberpunk, so many different brands. And again, it's all about aligning that passion. So the fact that I actually get to work closely now with the teams that create IPs, and my own internal team is just absolutely phenomenal and amazing. There's actually a large effort right now, and you'll see these cans on shelf right now if you go to the store. But putting Master Chief on millions and millions and millions of cans, collaborating with Snap to create a new and unique experience for both the front-facing camera, the World Lens camera, and bringing that connectivity and connection a little bit closer in, it's been just a lot of fun. So again, it's always about understanding where behavior is going, because right now it's not about if you play, it's what you play and the role that cloud gaming is going to play. So there's a significant opportunity for brands to make connections with gamers authentically. So that's kind of a key area of focus. All right, so one of the core drivers of why I've had a lot of success over the last 20 years, and it's weird to say that, I'm kind of a humble person, so it's kind of strange to say that, but when I really look back at it, deconstruct it, it came down to one core movement, one core thing. And that was the creation of my blog, Blackfin360, back in 2007. So you could always tell what I was working on because I would write about it. I would write about, you can go back and look at the history, you can see posts about gaming, you can see posts about technology, you could see posts about a number of different topics, until I really started to hone in on consumer behavior, emerging technology as a driver that led to the whole innovation and reality platform and speaking and all those other things. So my advice is this: if you're just starting out in your career, have a point of view. Pick 3 topic areas. It really doesn't matter what it is, but start crafting an opinion. Start posting content, creating original content around that. Show me as a prospective employer that you go beyond just the day-to-day, that your passion will basically carry that forward to where you can essentially use your kind of excitement to translate into possibly a new role. The other thing that's incredibly important is continue to focus on and develop your networks. Who you know is incredibly important. And it comes back to me, the most important social network. It isn't TikTok, it isn't Instagram, it isn't Snap, it's LinkedIn. I've had more success driven through this single platform, through connections, through helping others, through having others help me, to identifying new opportunities for speaking, for writing, all of it. LinkedIn is an incredibly important platform. My other advice is this: there are 2 things that you need in order to drive sustained success over time. Obviously in addition to aligning your passions. The first one is have a sponsor. So a sponsor is somebody internally within your organization that's willing to remove barriers for you. I've been incredibly lucky to have great sponsors over the course of the years who are able to then take and help elevate and remove barriers and do all of those things. The second thing is find a mentor. A mentor is somebody within the industry that can actually provide insight to you and give advice because they've been there, they've done that, but they're not in the day-to-day minutiae and can sometimes help you see the broader picture of what's actually happening and how you can help navigate that. So a sponsor, a mentor, who you know, and actually having a strategic POV, because that content follows you from job to job to job. And so finally, for me, it was aligning my passion for gaming, my passion for consumer behavior and psychology with marketing, and my love of technology. And I always look for ways in which to combine those three elements to create value for whatever organization that I'm a part of. So as you're thinking about embarking on your career, keep those in mind. Really align where are your passion areas and how can that then translate into driving performance. All right, that's it for this morning. So if you have any questions, you can find me at Blackfin360. That's on the blog. You can follow the streams on Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, across all social channels anyway. But I'm here if you have any questions, and have a great day.